It is in Etosha National Park. Etosha National Park is one of the largest national park in the country. It's about 22,270 square kilometer, and within the park we have a lot of large mammals, about 114 large and small mammals.
What kind of mammals are you seeing?
Mammals ranging from elephants to the antelopes. It actually holds the four large, big four, except one which is a buffalo. So we have lions, leopards, rhinos, and elephant, except the buffalo, which is one of the big five as well.
And what was the impetus for starting the park, or
Sorry?
starting the center?
For starting the center, okay, because back in history, conservation was about law enforcement. It was about arresting people for killing animals, collecting firewood. So with the paradigm shift in conservation, it was felt that the center should be established so that the people are made aware of the importance of conserving our biodiversity, our natural resources. And so it was out of that that center should actually come into existence to work with the people and develop a love of nature amongst the public, and especially the schools, the schools groups.
So outreach must be a very important part of what you do.
Excuse me?
Outreach programs must be very important to you.
Outreach should be important. Unfortunately, it's one of the components that we have not been able to do because of the resources, because of the staffing as well. And a lot of people are actually interested to come and attend our on-site, our center-based programs. And so we ended up spending a lot of time attending to our center-based program than going out, because it's very expensive in terms of resources and also in terms of staffing. And again, we are not able to take the center to the people because we can't take the animals, we can't take whatever facilities we have there, because their interest is basically to come into nature and see the animals. Especially it's to see the animals and the reptiles that we have in the park, and that we can't take to them. So we had to kind of work out which one will benefit more the groups.
So what's the most help that you can get from established science centers?
Okay, the capacity building, that will be very important. Okay, science centers, I would say in Namibia, it's not really a big concept. It's quite a new concept. I mean, in terms of the institution, especially which I'm working for. But what will be important is to expand our environmental education center, and so building a part of science centers as well. Even if it's not gonna change, the activities that we do within our centers should be in line with the science centers.
Right. And what's the capacity that you have now? How many staff? How big a building?
We are really very low staff. It's 2 staff that have to do the centers-based program, the schools outreach, and most of the time this person is out. I would say it has been one person, that's myself, that is involved in developing the programs, in conducting the programs, and in doing the schools outreach. So it's quite a very small that we don't have enough staff members to do it.
So where do you see the center being in 5 years' time?
A lot that I am doing is just to develop a standard program, because at the beginning of the establishment of the program, we did not involve a lot of stakeholders like the schools that we are offering. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot to do with developing the program and align it with the school curriculum, so that we make sure that what we are doing does complement the school curriculum, and especially in bringing in science education into our programs as well.
So that's what you'd like to do in the next 5 years or so, is get that developed?
Yes, a program, a standard one, developed and aligned with the school curriculum.
And Have you gotten the most out of coming to the Aztec conference? What have you learned the most while you were here?
It's what I've learned basically, especially yesterday, was on exhibitions, the importance or the relevance of having exhibitions. Then normally just, for instance, talk about issues or talk about things that we don't actually show our visitors. So the whole thing of having exhibitions and immerse them into that, like they're able to see. I think for me was very relevant. Plus also I attended most of the sessions that are talking about climate education and climate literacy. So I've seen that especially what we are doing, what I'm currently doing, is talking about issues, but why we need, as an environmental education officer, I think we need to teach people the science behind in order for them to understand the issues better and be able to respond to the issues.
And have you enjoyed Columbus?
I have a lot. It's just that I didn't get enough of it, but yeah, I'm happy.
So Solomon, how long has the Science Center been operational?
1 year.
1 year.
Yes.
And what started it?
The main components of the center is mainly astrophysics research and observation, mathematics and applied mathematics and physics, climate modeling, satellite technology, and science exhibition center, that is visiting center, and outreach program.
Right. And how important is the outreach program to what you do?
For the last 6 years, like society, Space Society has been done many outreach programs in different Ethiopian universities and schools. We established about 8 outreach branches at the region, and 50 clubs that are working for public outreach, that's science for students and schooling for teachers and training program, and public in general, public awareness and how the students are going to be more interested toward science and engineering.
And is the intention to provide science and engineering education to the public in general, or is it focused more on students to get them involved in STEM and new jobs?
Mainly 2 things. One, towards the students, to develop interest of the students in science and engineering and mathematics. And the second one is to the public in general, to support science and engineering programs. And even the policymakers. Policymakers should highly involved in decision making in science and engineering, and at the same time also in order to incorporate into the public and national policy. That's it. In students, and at the same time also the public in general, to create awareness.
Right. And have you got a lot of support from universities that offer engineering education?
Yeah, from 33 universities, 20 universities are going to be joined as a member. Then they allocate a fund for such a center for public outreach program and for research program and for visiting programs. And almost all in all, the universities are interested to join to this program. And the government also, Ethiopian Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, and other related government in higher institutions are already involved to be in this program.
Ada, what's the biggest challenge that your center faces right now?
Well, at the moment, it's a new center, and this center is being funded totally by a benefactor called Mark Gelfand, an American citizen. So presently, there is no challenge, okay? But we see a challenge which is looming in the future, and this will be its sustainability. okay? The government or the public has to take up this activity by themselves. This fellow will be around for 4 years to support this center. That's the challenge.
And what prompted the creation of the center? Why did the money come to you?
Well, it's mainly the brainchild of this benefactor, okay, the center. He has great interest to help the Ethiopian child because he has got interest in Beta Israelis who originated from Ethiopia and who migrated to Israel. He's by birth an Israeli. He goes and visits these Beta Israeli students in Israel at least once in a year. And he has engaged them in science fair competition, okay? Has helped them and has found them to be very brilliant because they won the robotics competition in 2 years' time after his coaching. So he's of the opinion that if this is done in Ethiopia, the Ethiopian child is very brilliant. It can do marvels. So he's experimenting, okay, that idea of his. Okay?
Right. So how have you found the Aztec conference in terms of being helpful? Has it been helpful to you to be here?
It's beyond my dream, okay? I had my dream from the moment I was invited to join this conference. I had a dream of my own. But actually, I found this experience to excel my dream, okay? It's very rich in activity, very rich in the exhibits which are being displayed. They have given me impetus, okay, to do a lot, to aspire a lot in my center.